New at 5 for you tonight. We were living in unprecedented times in 2020. We were dealing with a deadly pandemic and in some cases forced to come face to face with racism and discrimination.
A Minneapolis police officer killed George Floyd 3 years ago today. It sparked outrage and change around the world. Now that time has passed, Tiffany Tarpley answers the question, was this a moment or a movement?
Growing up in Cleveland's inner city was anything but easy for Dariante Stewart and his family.
You have violence at your front door. You have poverty at your front door. You was faced with so much adversity. And I've seen some of my best friends go to prison for 17 years at the age of 16.
Stewart followed a different path. He went to Lourdes University in Sylvania on a basketball scholarship and ultimately graduated with a degree in criminal justice. Stewart says he wanted to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
I knew that in order for people that look like me to get a step ahead, we needed to be in positions of power, as opposed to just talking about why things are going the way they are.
Stewart is walking the talk.
What's up, man? What's up?
He started a career in law enforcement in Southern Ohio with the State Highway Patrol, and in December made his way back to the city of Sylvania as a patrol officer.
At the end of the day, the only thing I'm trying to do is make sure my last name means something in a positive light as opposed to a negative.
Choosing law enforcement, he lost so-called friends along the way. But there was also a moment when the officer himself questioned his own career choice.
Stopping his breathing right there, bro.
The day he, just like so many others, watched what happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis. In May of 2020, video showed Officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for about 9 minutes, killing him.
As a black man, it was scary, honestly, because when I'm outside of this uniform and I'm in regular clothes, nobody knows that I'm a law enforcement officer, so that very well could have been me. That could have been my brother. That could have been my cousin, my uncle.
George Floyd!
The world was being ravaged by a deadly virus, right? People were dying, people were losing jobs, people were losing benefits, like all those things were occurring, and the world was shut down. So people had nothing to do but pay attention.
This time, the world was watching. Dr. Monita Mungo is an assistant professor of sociology at the University of Toledo.
More people saw it at a time where more people are outraged, because at that same time, everyone's going through social inequality. For many of non-people of color, they actually got to see what Black Americans have known for decades and decades and have experienced.
Yes, there were protests demanding police accountability and reform just about everywhere, but even more happened in society. Companies changed racist branding of products, donated money to organizations that supported Black and other minority communities, and some even created diversity, equity, and inclusion programs for the first time.
Let the killer cops hear you!
Toledo, Lucas County was a part of the wave of let's get this right. Our community, like many communities all around our country, declared racism a public health crisis.
Lisa McDuffie is the president and CEO of the YWCA of Northwest Ohio. Part of the organization's mission is eliminating racism and its effects on women and girls.
There was, I think, a wave of things that started to happen, and many of them, very, very good.
McDuffie believes the push toward equity and diversity after the murder of George Floyd is a movement.
This thing is deep, it is structural, it is systemic, and in order to really begin to change it, it is something that has to be looked at over a period of time.
As for Dr. Mungo, she feels it was a moment. She says police brutality is still happening and policing hasn't changed much. But Dr. Mungo also believes the push has created more awareness, but says now awareness has to move to action.
When the needle is moving on life outcomes for people of color, and Black people specifically, that's when you can tell that it has worked.
I was told that if you don't question what you're doing sometimes, maybe it's not the right thing for you.
3 years after questioning his career, the 26-year-old is still working in law enforcement, as he says, serving his community the best way he knows how.
Inside uniform or out, always try to do the right things for the right reasons.
And he has his family support, including his oldest brother, who Officer Stewart says is serving a life sentence in prison.
He's like, I'm so proud of you being able to make it out from the inner city of Cleveland, because not too many of us do. And he calls me all the time, asking for good stories and if I did anything cool.
Officer Stewart has a positive outlook on life and his career. He says more police departments are actively looking to hire people of color and women.
We've came a long way, but that can't distract how much longer we have to go. So I think it is a movement still to this day, but we got so much more work to do.
Tiffany Tarpley there with that report. Officer Stewart says he wants to become a supervisor one day and get more involved and maybe do some public speaking as well.
Powerful look back on this significant day.